Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's being safe out there, making sure that they're sanitizing, making sure that they're staying indoors if necessary. Also, forget to get out, get a little sun. Just be safe, practice that social distancing, and making sure that we're taking care of each other. For those who've been rocking with me, who's been tuning in, I appreciate it. Thanks again for sharing this information. Subscribe. Make sure you go on YouTube and check out those notifications. Also, the site's Rebuilding Community Trust on Facebook, also on Twitter. Please check out the information. Share it with those you know. Share it with your family and friends. Pass this on to people that need it. For those who are new, welcome. Welcome to Rebuilding Community Trust. This site is designed to not only keep everyone aware of what's going on around them, also teaching them on laws and police reform, also any issues of today. Real quick, I just want to get a shout out to those healthcare workers. I spoke with someone the other day working, just doing simple stuff around, the grocery store workers. There's people that's doing the cable. There's our nurses, our doctors, our CNAs. Salute to everyone out there that's working on the front lines. I just want to say thank you personally, because it is a tough time where, healthcare is a big concern. So thank you again for doing what you're doing. Those nurses that I know personally, thank you for representing well and taking care of those who are sick. Also, I just want to shout out to the family of Georgiana Graves, those who might know her. Those who don't, she was one of our bandmates back in college. She marched with us, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, Marching Wildcat Band. Just want to say a shout out to the family, to prayers up, salute to those who's going through it. In the situation that, prayer for healing and comfort during this time. And for those who do know her, please send a prayer for her family. Also, not only for her, but those who also have been lost to this virus. There's a lot of other people that I know from indirectly or directly that has been lost to this virus. This is why we got to take it seriously. And we need to make sure we're taking the right precautions and being able to take care of each other and take care of ourselves. So on that note, just again, please be safe out here. And again, if you need to move out here and do so safely, and make sure you're taking care of those around you. So today we're going to talk about the DFACs. I know it's a topic that is probably not so much important as currently what's going on right now, but it has some things tied up to with the coronavirus and things in it. It's kind of been something I want to do for a while. I'm just, checking into this, back in this page. There's a lot of transitions been going on for me. So finally getting back on it. So I just want to take the time to go over this real quick with DFACs. So DFACs for short is Division of Family and Children Services. Their job is to investigate reports of child abuse, find foster and adopted homes for abused and neglected children. They also deal with the SNAP program, the Medicaid and TANF, which helps out the work parents and getting them back on their feet, and innovative programs to help families like in school as far as meals for home, dealing with reduced and free lunches, also food stamps and Medicaid and other state-funded programs that are available for these individuals that need it. Child welfare services and protective services created to protect children from alleged child abuse and neglect, and he or she may be asked to answer questions in temp court sessions to determine the best course of action or even prosecution for crimes against kids and youth. So one of the reasons I picked this topic is because, again, the youth is important. You got to make sure our youth is taken care of. As times develop, especially during this time where we can be teaching our youth the importance of basic values, being able to father them, be there for them, nurture them, help them grow to understand the world that is changing, because this is a new norm. So this will be, everyone's staying at home, not being able to go out. Grocery stores are being limited to certain hours. A lot of the recreational stuff is closed. A lot of sports, movies, a lot of stuff that we know to have has been on a temporary lockdown. So this is a new norm for a lot of us. So this will be the time to really teach our children and our youth on the times to come and mend that relationship and being able to get them right and get them ready. So this is why one of the reasons I picked this topic, because we have children in the system where they don't have the opportunities to be able to just have basic necessities and being able to get that care, that love, the nurturing that they needed. So it's important for this system, the DFACs and the Child Protective Services. There's many different names, whether it's state funded, local, or federal levels. where these kids are lost in the system and they're not getting the treatment that's needed. So you got different names. You got the Department of Human Services, Department of Social Services, Department of Children and Family Services, Child Protective Services. There's many names to this. Like I said before, it's all depending on the level that they're on. For those who are dealing with this, if you're having to get a lawyer or do any type of legal action, you want to look into family law. There's plenty of lawyers in the family law. This is where the category will fall under. So therefore, if you need to do any legal action, you can go to that route. And appeals as well. If you got any appeals, their parents that, they would deny the children, or they got, put on hold, or if they need to reappeal to get their children back, this is the process you will go through. You will go through a family law court or a family lawyer. Some of the issues that CPS has, I know I've mentioned before. I don't know if people have seen it, the Netflix docuseries, the trial of Gabriel Fernandez. I haven't seen all of it. I've seen some of it. I actually want to lead this to y'all to watch. This is from what I've seen the first 2-3 episodes. It deals with Gabriel Fernandez going through the foster care system. And once, the failure of CPS, quote unquote, for them allegedly not taking the process needed to make sure that Gabriel was in the right hands with his parents. So from what I've seen, his mother got custody along with the boyfriend she was dating at the time. And that's when all the abuse started. I don't know, from what I've seen, was not a lot of involvement or little to no involvement with CPS, allowing that child to deal with their abuse and whatnot. So it kind of prompted this topic as well. And we got to make sure that some of the issues is funding. Funding is a big deal. Being able to have those workers, those social workers, those caretakers, those who is entrusted to make the system run, to engage more with foster parents, selection of foster parents, being able to look at demographics and look at where it's best suited for the child more so, not just throwing them in the system. I'm not saying that it's happening 100% of the time. There's always factors and caveats to it. But from what I've seen from research is that a lot of it could be because of the lack of funding, being able to have more workers be involved, day-to-day operations, being able to look at what is needed for the child, what demographics they're coming from, what is their background, where do they come from, and whatnot, and so forth. This is important. Stricter checks, being able to have the balances needed, foster parents, being able to check in with CPS and being able to ask for requests for help, being able to really, see what's needed for the child, not having so many children in one home. If you got 10, 15 kids or 5 kids, look at these different things. What are the factors that's causing these instances where, the abuse is happening. So historic backgrounds dated back in 1690, where pretty much the criminal crimes, which was against kids, they were prosecuted back then. Similar system is used across the UK, Europe, Spain, Costa Rica. And as these times came along, these systems begin to develop and also fill themselves out to where laws were passed and make it to where it's beneficial for kids today. So it's always, it was better than it was then, but it's always room for improvement. Criminal justice system is built. The juvenile justice system is built in which the DFACs cases, the CPS cases, they was all built upon the criminal justice system. So it's very similar. Juvenile justice system is very similar to a CPS as far as, the process and using the court system is kind of tied in hand. So again, if, for example, if a case where a mother or father, CPS is involved, that, going to court is where it's going to need to be done in order for them to either gain custody back or be able to prove that they're a fit parent and explain why they should either have custody or not have custody. Again, you got to look at local, state, and federal agencies. They all manage the caseload. So depending on how far it goes, federal level, state level, local level, these all tie hand in hand. Depends on the cases and depends on the areas that you're in, metropolitan, suburban, whatever, where the case is going to fall. That determines the amount of work that's needed. So it was a petition I saw online It's an active petition now. Some of the foster parents, even parents, are petitioning to CPS to be looked at, federal involvement to be looked at, not only for funding, but also for being able to give more the CPS, DHS, DSS more power to get involved and be able to streamline the system a little bit better. Placing children in homes based on availability, parental rights not being terminated from abusive parents in timely manner. These are some of the stipulations they're putting in the petition. This could have been a caveat in preventing children, such as Gabriel Fernandez's case and others' life at hand, the mother and her boyfriend. So having those parents screened and being able to, if they have rights, they have a certain amount of time to get them terminated, especially if they're shown as being abusive or not taking care of the child. Again, if you refer back to the Gabriel Fernandez trials, you can see the mother. I remember seeing the mother in jail, and she's responding to some of the things that's happening with her. You can tell the behavior and the mannerisms of his mother, and how she relates to as far as having custody of Gabriel. Obviously, it's too late at that point, but you have to really see the mannerisms of the parents and see whether their rights to be terminated. Because if their rights are not terminated, they have full access to the child and be able to do what they want. So that's kind of what I was looking at as far as some of the stipulations in the petition. I'll put it on the page and definitely check it out to where y'all can, if you want to sign up and put your name on there, you can. If you just want to look at the petition, you want to share it, I'll put it on the page once I get a chance to do so, and you can see the petition. But those are some of the complaints and some of the stipulations they're trying to present to Congress and to others to get on board to see how can we better the process for our kids and make sure that we're taking care of our kids and make sure they're getting streamlined and taken care of correctly. So there, for the coronavirus, COVID-19, what are some of the programs that are being established? There is an act out that's been signed by Congress. There's a lot of stuff that's been signed into law to help all of us to better the programs and continue funding to help these programs, especially with all the schools being out. There's programs to where they're keeping kids fed, depending on what school or what school system or district you're in, whether it's what state you're in. So these programs are available to all of us, our kids, to continue feeding our kids and also providing support into maybe educational or financial, as far as those who have been laid off from work. We'll talk about those a little later. So that's pretty much covering CPS, DFACs. I know a couple of people personally that's working in the system that will appreciate these petitions, appreciate the funding, and appreciate the fact that people speak out on these issues because it makes their job better. I know a couple of people comment on Facebook where they feel like that it's a tough time for the social workers. It's a tough time for these programs to not to continue to be funded because it's going to affect the children. It's going to affect homes and families, especially with a lot of people getting laid off of their jobs. Unemployment is at its all-time high for people applying. And these programs, I know the Congress and the president, they signed off on the stimulus package, and that is used to hopefully offset some of these issues and costs when it comes to people being laid off, and also keep funding available. So again, I'm sure people can appreciate being spoken out on these topics, especially when it comes to our youth, and also being able to keep things funded. And just real quick on a quick caveat, if for kids, and I'm going to say my personal opinion, if you feel like you cannot have kids, if you cannot deal with your kids, this goes back to sitting down and getting to know yourself as a person, to know what type of parent you're going to be. That's also sitting down with the potential person. Sometimes we get into our situationships where we have children and we don't think about the consequences of having kids until it's too late. And then a lot of times when you have kids and they're here, you're not ready. And therefore you start to take extreme measures to abuse them, or you feel like you need to harm them in any way. In that case, think about what you're doing before you do it. If you know you're not ready for children, don't have them. You know what I'm saying? Use protection, abstinence. Speaking from Christian values, you should be always abstaining from that type of stuff anyway before marriage. But if you do engage in it, you need to be sure that you are sure really who you having your kids by, because everything comes down to the pay. You need to sit down, ask the right questions, ask the hard questions. What type of parent you're going to be? How was you raised? How was you? Because sometimes how you were raised can determine how you're going to be as a parent. And that should make sure that you say, well, maybe I'm not ready for kids because I have to deal with past hurts from my parents, past hurts from not having a dad there, past hurts from abusive mom, abusive dad, past hurts from being in the foster care myself. It's just an example. Some people have been in foster care. They don't know how to be parents. And they get out and have kids, and then they treat them. This generational curse, passing it down to their kids when the kids didn't actually be here. So think about that. If you with somebody for the long term, sit down with them and say, hey, how do you want to do parenting? What are your mindset about raising kids? Are you the type to stay or go? Are you the type that we're gonna work through this situationship and take care of our kids? How are you with discipline? There's parenting classes available. There's all types of stuff available to where this free classes. There's classes you may have to get a reduced price, but you'll learn how to parent your kids correctly. Because this is how this stuff starts, is when someone has kids, they're not ready, and they abuse them, or they just ship them off and put them in the system. And a lot of times, no matter how good CPS DFACs is going to be, it's so much more caseload than it is workers. So no matter how perfect the system is, you're going to have some that's going to fall through the cracks. And when they fall through the cracks, that's when you have these situations where the kids are abused, or they sent to the wrong foster home, or they sent to someone where they treat any kind of way, because we're so many kids in the system that it's just hard to manage with the caseload. So to prevent that, the solution is, if you're going to have kids, you need to make sure you're ready for it. Not jumping into a situationship where I'm just going to have kids and I'm not going to think of the consequences, because you're affecting that child later on down the line. You're putting them through a whole different situation when you don't need to be, because you chose to have kids and not think about your future. You're not thinking about your children that's coming before you. Sit down with the person you had kids by. That's men and women. Men and women. Men need to sit down with their potential people they're going to have kids by and say, hey, look, how are you as a mom? Same thing as a mom, how are you as a dad? Because if you ask these questions now, you won't have these issues. Think about what you're doing before you do it, because at the end of the day, if you don't, this is why these systems are so out of control. This is why it's so much, it's more kids than they are manpower. This is why kids are falling through the cracks, getting abused. There's statistics that show, dating back into the 90s to the 80s, where this stuff is continuously going on, getting worse as time goes on, because we're not taking the time to do these very simple, very basic, bottom level things. So please, our youth is important, because this is our future. What we're experiencing today with the COVID-19 is just the beginning. It's going to continue to spread. It's going to continue to carry on. There's going to be more plagues and more pandemics coming down the pipeline. We need to be ready to teach our kids, and need to make sure that we're preparing them. We need to make sure that if we're having kids, that we're ready to have them and get them set up for success. So I'm done with that. So some of the things of the act we talked about, the programs, the coronavirus, and with Congress, they're doing something called the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. It was signed. I haven't had a specific date. I'm going to put it on the page for specifics. So if you want to check out and actually read it, or get the link to it where you can log on and read it, I'm going to post that as well, so you can actually click on it and see it. But some of the stuff they cover is $500 million to fund the program, the TFAP, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, local food banks to meet increased demand for low-income Americans during the emergency. $300 million will be for the purchase of the food and assistance of for the food banks, and $100 million is going to be for support of distribution and storage to the foods and the goods to where it needs to go. That's churches, that's Helping Hands. I know in Georgia it's called Helping Hands. Got a lot of churches doing food banks. I know 2 churches personally that's doing food banks right now, using these funds to supply to the community and to be able to help out. So these all different organizations that are using the Salvation Armies, others, different kitchens and different shelters and stuff like that are helping out. You got the Essential Access to Lunch for Students Act. You got the Child Nutrition and Response Act. These all are different things to help out with the reduced meals. There are programs where the schools are still serving meals to the kids, even though they're out of school. There are all types of programs. There's the Paid Workers Act, Emergency Paid Workers Act. There is used to also help out with those who are out of work, and providing funding and stuff like that for those programs. So again, I'm going to post it on my www.rebuildingcommunitytrust.org page. You can check it out. Click on the link and you can get a chance to look at it and see it. So it's very critical as well to pay attention to what's going on. I know a lot of people don't want to watch the news. I don't engage in the news often, as I wouldn't say often because I actually watch the news every day, but actually I don't look at it long. I just get the key points, find out what is going on in our neighborhoods, because this is stuff we need to be aware of. Stuff like this with the Congress and the acts, you're only going to find out if you check the news media. Whether you watch it, whether you read in the newspaper, whether you go online, look at MSN or MSNBC, we got to be aware in some cases. I'm not saying the media is all say all, because sometimes the media can dramify and intensify what's going on out here and make, bring a negative spirit. But it is good to pay attention to what's going on around you and to look and see what's going on, stuff like this that are out here, so we can spread the word to those who are struggling. Because at the end of the day, it's a tough time financially. I've been out with the homeless and seeing them. It's more homeless than I ever seen. And, take a minute to pass some information to them. Take a minute to, there's jobs, there's opportunities, there's something out there for them to get a hold of. It's unemployment. There's these acts, there's these different food banks and stuff like that. They can get food and just pass this on to someone that, those who are struggling with families, pass this on to them. This money's there. I know everybody's talking about the stimulus bill and they trying to get that $1,200 or get that $2,400. But, there's other resources available to get food and get things that you need for your kids or for yourselves. So please just check out, go on your news media outlets. I'll post the stuff on my page as well if you want to check it out and look at it. And that's all I got for DFACs. Again, it's basic overview. Shout out again to those that are working, the social workers, the DFACs, the case managers, the nurses, even down to the cable guy, even down to the grocery store worker, the fast food workers, the delivery drivers, those who's out here every day, doctors, nurses, EMS, police officers. It's a struggle. I talked about in the last video I did. They're out here struggling. EMS workers, home health aides, CNAs, those who are checking on our elderly. There's so many people out here is working and grinding out here despite of at risk. Shout out, salute, for real. Salute to those that are out there doing this stuff firsthand. And I do agree, y'all need a pay increase. So I do agree with that. But I'm continue to pray for y'all that's out here and continue to put their lives at risk every day for to continue to keep America moving, keep those that we love safe, keep those taken care of out there. So salute to that. So real quick, I'm going to start for upcoming events. A couple more videos. I know there's a lot going on right now. I'm going to finish up my schoolwork. I'm trying to get this master's degree. So I'm right, get some stuff that I hear, some extra stuff. I'm going to post it. I'm doing some training for finance advisory. Working on my license for that. So pretty much along with the coronavirus, there are people that's accounts, retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks that are taking major hit. I lost money. I know someone that lost $40,000. People don't understand the 401k, the IRA. These things are going by stock market, the Dow Jones. So if you have vested money into your 401k and the stock market plunges, you're going to lose a lot of money. So in that case, there's opportunities and for free training and knowledge for IULs, index strategies, index funds. If those who want to learn more about it, I've been sending out to different people. Please message me in the comments below. Reach out to me at Daryl_Brooks5@AOL.com. You can comment on YouTube, wherever you want to leave a comment. If you want to know more information, I'll gladly get a chance to link up with you and talk about this, because, again, this is about your future. The baby boomers, retirements, those who are retiring soon, those who are not retiring soon, those who are just starting out. This is the time to start securing your finances, securing your retirement early, because, again, this is an economic cleansing. Stock market's going down every day, go up a little bit, go down, go up a little down, and that's all your money gone. So if you interested to learn more about protecting your money, building your future, because, again, when we talk about generational wealth, this is the time to really start thinking about that, thinking about what you're going to leave for your children. It does make no sense to continue to invest your money into something that you're going to keep losing money. You spend 20 years at a job for pension and 401k, and in a day or a couple of weeks, your whole account is wiped out. Think about investing your money and putting it in something that's solid. So then you can leave your generational wealth for your children. You can also build up finances for yourself. And then when time to retire at 65, or 59 and a half, you'll have money to secure it, because you just never know what's going to go. You don't know how long this pandemic is going to go. You don't know how long the stock market is going to continue to go down or come up or down or whatnot. So you need to think about this. So if you want to know more, reach out to me in the comments below, or email me, Darryl, DARRYL_Brooks5@AOL.com. And I will definitely pass it on. Or, if you want to drop in the comments below, I'll gladly set up the time. We can sit down and talk. We can see what your finances. I'll gladly show you some of the stuff that I experienced, that I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? That is impacting my finances and generational wealth for my children. And I'll show you the implement steps to make it better, and being able to things that I'm putting together to make sure that I can be able to secure my future for myself and for my family. So that's all I have. Thank you for tuning in. I hope, please stay safe. Please sanitize. Please take the time to check on your family members, check on your great grandparents, call them, check on them, make sure they're good, make sure that they're doing practice social distancing, make sure that they're taking the proper medicine. Get your herbals, elderberry, or vitamin C, vitamin E. Get your multivitamins, lemon, honey, whatever you need to do. Build your immune system. Build your immune system and probiotics. Those are the things that's going to help you stay your immune system stay intact. So if you ever come in contact with the virus, your chances of fighting it off is a lot better than if you just do nothing. So please be safe. Leave comments. www.rebuildingcommunitytrust.org, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Rebuilding Community Trust on Facebook, or Darryl Brooks. And please share the stuff. Subscribe to YouTube. Notifications, hit the bell so we can keep material coming. All right. Y'all be blessed. Stay safe.